Growing up, I was always taught that negative thoughts are bad and positive thoughts are good. But what if our negative thoughts are actually pointing us in the direction of something that we need to resolve from our past? Just last Sunday, I came out of my house and two of my neighbor's kids were dressed up as superheroes. They were Spider-Man and Superman. No matter what their mother said, all they wanted to do was fight villains, kick and punch and attack the villains. Later that day, coincidentally, somebody came out of the blue and into my life. Her name was Erica Humphrey, and she wrote this book called I Am My Own Superhero. She was telling me about her story, and she had a bunch of inner villains, she called them, which are negative thoughts and experiences from the past. And it wasn't until she built up her inner superhero that it was strong enough to go and take on those inner villains by asking for forgiveness, by forgiving other people, and even by forgiving herself. This was coming up at a time for me when I was having some negative recurring thoughts from my past, even my teenage years. So I followed in her footsteps. I wrote them down, and I'm now at a point where I'm trying to figure out what do I need to do to ask for forgiveness from some of these people. How do I forgive, and then how do I even forgive myself for some of the things from my past? And it's kind of like those kids out front of my house. You don't fight a villain by ignoring it and just deflecting it and distracting ourselves with something else. Like those kids, you defeat a villain by tackling it straight on. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Perhaps you've been doing this all along and just taking villains out as they come, or maybe you're like me and it's time to ask for forgiveness, to give forgiveness, or even to forgive ourselves. Whatever the case, I believe, and from reading Erica's book, I know she believes that we deserve to leave these villains in the past once and for all and move on to the amazing life that we know we deserve.